They've limited the expansion. Because when you think about Black Panther, the first Black Panther, what that did for Black culture in 2018, it wasn't created by Marvel. It was a movement going on social media. Black people on social media were tired of the discrimination, oppression, all these things. Black people were tired. And we use social media as a tool to get our voices out there. And then there was this big Black movement. We saw it, from the Black hair, natural hair movement, Black pride, Black Lives Matter, Beyonce going, pushing that movement. We saw this movement expanding. Then we called for strong Black actors. We called for stronger Black movies. We called for movies about Black people that weren't showcasing just slavery, that focused on empowerment. And then Black Panther came, and it was the advent of the Black movement. It was a pioneer because in cinema, it was the first time we got to push the agenda of Black African excellence in cinema. So it pioneered that movement. But this movie, Wakanda Forever, does not continue or carry the baton to continue that race. Because what Black Panther was in 2018, it pioneered a movement. It made it mainstream to push Black stories that supports Black excellence, that supports Black pride, that encourage this in cinema. And when you have to understand, cinema is influential. When you inspire people through cinema, it trickles down to every fabric of society, right? So we've seen this movement trickle down and expand and expand and expand in the past how many years since Black Panther. And so this movie did not carry the baton because this movie did not act as a pioneer in that movement to open up and usher in the new wave of Blackness and Black stories. It did not do that. It did not do that. Instead, it sort of just floated in the water as another form of Black art, not really pushing that movement as it did previously. And that's a lot of pressure, big shoes to fill. I understand that. But we're talking about Marvel, and this is what Marvel does. This is what Disney does. So the only reason I would say that they didn't do that in this movie is because it wasn't in their agenda. It's because it doesn't appeal to white supremacy to continue to usher in and support the expansion and the growth of Black cinema, of Black stories, of Black people, and the empowerment of Black people. It does not serve white supremacy to do that, to continue to do that. Sure, we did it in the first place because we're going to make a lot of money from this. People are tired of Anglo-Saxon storytelling. I've interviewed quite a few executives in film, from, distributors, all of that. People are tired of Anglo-Saxon protagonists and storytelling. People want different stories, and that's where the drive and the opportunity came when creating the first Black Panther. But this one, if we usher them into the new era, well, that's going to be a problem. That's going to give them, too much inspiration. So we're not going to do that. We're just kind of just sit in the water and let them figure it out. And so this movie for me was a disservice to Blackness because it didn't do what it was supposed to do, what Marvel does. It didn't focus on expanding Black culture. It just kind of said, let's just sit here. Let's just see what happens. Right. Let's just sit here. Let's not focus on that. So let me break this down.